Okay, so this is a CNC rough overview of how to get things going if everything's working properly. If things aren't working properly, then this video is not going to help you very much because you're going to get stuck before it. So with the torch mate, if the screen's already up to what it looks like right now, you guys can see it on your screen, there should be 4 green buttons. Auto should be green, on should be green, should say on right below that. So that's for mode, sample voltage, IHS. Those 3 should be green. And then you skip one, that should the IHS mode. That should be always. And then we have another green button, and that's cut parameters, program defined, should be green. We should have the feed rate set to 100. Okay, for what we're doing, the 18 gauge steel, 100 works just fine. Before you load anything, you want to go up to select job. You want to do simple test cut, load that file. It will load and zoom in on that file. And then you can go ahead and plug in your flash drive. So this flash drive, a little screen pops up in the bottom right, and sometimes a big box will pop up. Don't click on anything with those. We don't want to click into something. What that's trying to do is it's trying to read the flash drive like a storage device. We don't want to read the flash drive as a storage device. We don't want to click into the little notification that popped up. It will crash this computer. Not permanently, just we have to completely restart the system in this system. So don't click into that, please. You're going to click on the select job up at the top. You're going to click on browse. And then you find that flash drive. So on this little pop-up screen, you're going to find the flash drive. I'm going to load toilet paper back, that job there. It loads just fine. If, when I double click on that file, another little box pops up that gives you 4 different options, you clicked on a wrong file. You clicked on a file that is, it was created with the wrong code, so it might be a .fgc code if the computer's over here did not save it correctly, which sometimes those get accidentally changed and it won't save it as a .gm file. So that would be the case. Or if you just didn't create the G code yet, and you're trying to open the editing file that you thought you had finished over here and bring it over here, it will not load. If you load it, it's likely to crash it and we'll have to completely restart. If it loads it and you can see your design, then the next step is to find the 00 coordinates. There's 2 different ways you can do this. You can turn the laser light on, which to do that, you're going to click on active run down here, and it then flips it to say dry run, and I click laser. So now there's a laser for where the torch head's going to come down. This is a very simple and easy way to locate the start point. So with this toilet paper job that we are doing right now, we have 2 different thicknesses or 2 different widths of metal on the table. We have one, and I can see somebody already cut in the wrong spot. We have one that is the width of the long parts. Then we have one that is for stacking the backing piece to it. So that's what I'm loading right now is the backing piece. I can see that there's a laser right here. I want to get a little bit closer to the edge. I want to leave about 1/8 of an inch gap below where my dot's at and to the left of where my dot's at. But once I get to that point where I have it right where I want it, which now I do, I'm going to hit set program 0. It's on the bottom left-hand part of the screen. Click set program 0. And then I can click zoom to machine. When I click zoom to machine, I can see where on this whole table my part is. This is an important step because sometimes when we create the code over there, we don't get the part in the 00 coordinates, or we think we do, but then there's a back setting that's messed up and it's not in the right spot. And so you might hit start run job and the thing takes off somewhere else to go cut. And that's just, it's something's messed up, and I can help if that happens to you. But right now, we're looking good. It looks like it's about in the right spot of the table from what the screen shows. So I want to do my final test, and I'm going to hit zoom to job, and I'm going to drive on the screen here. I'm going to drive the torch head to the top left of my part, and I'm going to go to the top right, the bottom right, and then back to home. At each of the four corners, I want to look up and see, am I still on my metal? If I'm on the metal, we're golden. If by chance the metal's laying crooked on the table, then we're already off, and so we need to readjust and then reset the program 0. So once I do that, so the top left, I'm good. Top right, I can see that I'm still on the metal. The laser's still on the metal. The bottom right, I'm still good. I'm not overlapping. I'm not going off the edge of it or anything like that. And then I drive it back to home. And I know that I'm already good there, but just to make sure that I don't cross any parts where it's going to not work out. The last part that I want you guys to keep in mind is when you throw a new piece of metal down here, this guide on the bottom is what we need to line up with. But when something is so narrow, where it doesn't have a lot of surface here, then you need to be able to use the middle channel or one of the sides to be able to keep this thing square. If your metal's not square, you're going to have a hard time getting, when you trace the outside of it on the screen, you're going to have a hard time getting it to fit on there correctly. The last part would be to make sure that the lights are on here. This has not been turned on yet, so there's a switch. My arms are long enough, I can reach it, but everybody else, you're going to have to walk around to the back side. You'll see the lights come on. They'll flash a little bit. You'll hear the fan turn on. Then you're ready to go once the lights stop flashing. If there's any orange or red lights on, there's an error and you need to get my attention. And that's it. Then we hit run job once I know everything's good, and you'll have a finished product.